Welcome back. So
Welcome
if
back.
you were paying attention to that steamy steamboat hot food segment. I mean, I'm talking about the steam again. There's no hidden meaning this morning. My brain only
I like
starts
that.
working
I like
with the
that.
hidden passion after lunch.
I like that. Steamy steamboat. Maybe we should hope.
Steam.
Yeah, that would be a good idea for a name. Steamy steamboat.
So
You could be Mr. Steamy.
I'm trademarking that, and you could be
Yeah.
Mr. Steamboat, is it?
I could
Steamy
be.
Steamboat. Okay. Anyway, we are going to take calls. So if you had paid attention, we have 2 questions for you. 4 types of steamboat, and the last word. The last word.
The last word. The last word or sentence?
The last sentence.
The last few words. Yeah, it's kind of catchy. So I'm sure you can get it right, sir. Anyway, we have a song for you.
Yes.
All right, 2, 3.
Go.
Love is in the air every time Mursyidah comes. Hi.
Hi.
Very good morning, Mursyidah.
Good morning. Hi.
Mursyidah's side, of course, she's gonna speak to us about having love in our society. So I'm so sorry we started off with negativity, the teachers, weird teachers, and so anyway, we allow you to clear it.
Oh, okay. Well, in a way that is good to start off because we can be aware of what is happening right now. Okay, and I wanted to talk about having love in our society. It's another very passionate topic of mine because I went through a process of discovery, self-discovery, and the importance of love within ourselves, and that will be translated out in our society. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, of course, it is a follow-up of all my other sessions on not judging people. You learn people have different personalities, how different people process information and everything. We must love and respect the individual differences and everything, right? So I wanted to continue about bringing out this understanding, bringing out this love to our society. And another inspiration I got also was last weekend. My family and I visited what we thought was an orphanage, but it's not an orphanage. It's actually a home that's open to everybody who needs a home. So you have people, not just orphans, we have the homeless families, we have people like the old folks, with no place, ex-drug addicts, people who are not accepted by maybe their own families or their communities. And this home, which we found in Kajang, which is Rumah Pengasih, Warga, Prihatin, it's a fantastic home that we discovered. I was just sharing with them just now, when my family and I were in the car, we can practically feel the love vibes coming from this. And when we we spent a whole day in that home, right? And when we went in there, we discovered that this is a manifestation of having love in a society, in a small community. How having love is manifested in this home, and you see people there with such high self-esteem, confidence, full of love. The attitude is of a giving attitude because of this love. And you see people who we normally see, like children who are special needs children there, who can speak very well, confidently, without being told, they're not told that they were special, so they're very confident. And you see everybody gives the same message of love in there, right from the youngest out to the oldest in the home. And this is something that I'd like to share, because on love, and love is not just about what a lot of the times media shows, or love, you have to be this way to attract love. Love is actually biologically within us. It is a natural need for us to give love. If you look at a parent, for example, they can stay up late, they don't sleep to take care of the child, especially when the child is sick. That is a manifestation of love. You look at couples, you just discovered someone you fell in love with. You can talk to the person until like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, and then after that go to work, wake up at 7 o'clock and go to work and still operate, and then at night still go out on a date with that person.
Those were the days.
That's what love can do. Right? And love is not a feeling. We must always remember that love is not just a feel-good feeling. Love is doing good, right? With that feeling, you do good. And what consists of this thing called love is a lot of things like sharing, for example, sharing. And one thing I'd like to share also with the viewers, that I had a chat with one of the founders yesterday, and he said in the concept of the home, it's all sharing. The families that started the home, there are about 20 of them, they all, with their family, whatever money they have, they share it, they open it to other people. So he said, now poor people who come and live with us, they have a handphone, they have a car, they have a house, you know. And everybody has, because everybody shares. When people share, everybody becomes rich. Isn't that amazing? All right. And a lot of us, we don't have that love because we say what's mine is mine, you know, cannot share. And it even happens within families. Oh, a husband and wife, oh, berkira, you know, like, oh, this is mine, this is not yours, you know, this is my space, not yours. So there's no love within families. How is there going to be love outside? You can't even show love within yourself, right? So this is something that I'd like to share also. When people have that feeling of contribution to give, right? Everybody gets more, okay? And the other thing that when you love is also about accepting differences, accepting the people's differences. You don't make people change according to our needs, right? You understand where they come from, why they are like that through their personalities or their experience and background. Accept them, acknowledge their difference. But you know, if you're in a community, we have a common value that we sustain and a common goal, and we work together based on that, right? And the other thing is forgiveness, right? And most of the time people don't forgive, and they can't even forgive themselves, they can't even forgive their parents. How are they going to forgive other people, right? And it affects your life, you know. We see people showing anger to other people, like hurting others. They hurt others, they hurt you know, people like animals, you know. This is one of the major issues that's brought up, is because of anger issues, non-forgiveness within themselves. If they can't even forgive themselves, how are we going to forgive others, right? So forgiveness is also important within, and it was manifested out. And one thing also I'd like to share, in that home where we went and visited, was there was an ex-drug addict. He was 16 years being a drug addict, and people don't accept him because they always look at him suspiciously. And human beings, they need love, they need self-esteem as well to be welcomed back. Nobody forgave him, right? So in this home, they told us he was treated with love and water to detox and lots of love. From the youngest, the children, they address him as big brother, as uncle, you know. They accepted him as a family. He has responsibilities in the home, and he's now, you know, he's very much accepted, and he's now well, you know. And how many people are like that in our society? Because when they come out of a rehabilitation center or out of prison, there's no more love. People reject. You don't give them opportunities at all. So there's no forgiveness, right? So rehabilitation is important because the people need to know where they have gone wrong, but we also need to forgive. What are we going to do about it? You know, so all these issues that's happening in the world that is troubling us right now, in our society that's troubling us right now, we need to contribute and do something. What are we going to do something about it? So that's why, you know, I'm still starry-eyed from the experience, because to me, it's like meeting an inspiration. It's a hero. To me, it's a hero. And I believe there are a lot of heroes out there in Malaysia doing fantastic things. And if we can highlight them, we can learn so much from all this, you know, and we can actually be inspired, like, oh, other people can do it, how can I do it as well? Right? So instead of just complaining, condemning, we can also do something about it.
Right. Now, Mursyidah, that sounds very utopian. I mean, Thomas Paine's book, Utopia, he talks a lot about things like that, giving without expecting much in return. And, you know, how can we actually get past this thing in humanity called limited altruism, where we try to keep as much as we can for ourselves, and we give only what we think we can do without.
Scarcity.
It's the scarcity mindset, and this has been ingrained in us since years and years, from the industrial age. And, you know, people want to instill competition, not the friendly competition, the unfriendly competition, where I want to squeeze as many people things out of the masses so I can keep the most, and that is what everybody strives. You know, right now there's a lot of imbalance in the world because of this, right? So what we can now instill, because if people are aware, those people who are aware, they know that we have moved from the industrial age, we have moved from the information age, we are now going into the spiritual age. People are more enlightened, become to be aware of all this global issues what's happening, that's affecting everyone living on earth, and the future generations that's going to be affected. And we can see the repercussions of this education that has been happening in the past manifested now. So what can we do about that change now, right? So maybe for some, you know, it takes time for policies to change and all that. We can start with the home, right? educating our kids on this, especially these 4 main issues, which is the body, the mind, the heart and spirit. Not just knowledge, that is the mind level, you know. We can learn as much as possible. We can have all this knowledge. So many intelligent people out there with so much knowledge. But what do you do with the knowledge? It can be used for destruction. So when we go into our heart, we go into our spirit, we get more conscious about it. And I think I was watching Hello On 2 yesterday, and Dr. Mahaya was here. She talked about self-reflection, right? The ego conscious and the God conscious. And I was like, so in love with her yesterday. I was watching. You know, you can actually feel that, you know, if we move from this, when we go into spirituality, and this is what human spirit is all about. We have lost this human spirit in all of us because of years of programming, of years of hardening our kids, right? And we have become hardened, and we do not forgive, right? We don't even forgive ourselves. We have anger issues with parents. How are we going to move on in our lives successfully?
Right. That's quite true. On that note, though, we're running out of time in this segment, but we'd like to say thank you very much for sharing some love on our show this morning. It's something that we all need in our lives, and I hope that, you know, we can look forward to day after day after day after more love. Like you said, it shouldn't be just in the good old days.
Yeah, it shouldn't be there.
Shouldn't be just in the
So
good old
maybe you would like to have sentence something for our viewers to remember for today.
Okay,
as a conclusion.
All right, a friend of mine, his name is Dean Arif, and he shares with me on our training programs and everything. There's also research that's done that, you know, if you don't forgive your father, your career will be affected. You don't forgive your mother, your relationships are affected. So you see people who jump from one job to another, they're never happy. They try to fix their career, or they blame it's because of these jobs and all that. And people who do not jump from, they never get the right relationship. They jump from one relationship to another. It actually goes back to non-forgiveness of the mother. So we start with forgiving mother and father, all right? Don't try to fix everything outside first. Fix within, because it will be manifested outside. What is happening in our world is a result of what is going on within, and it's shown outside, all right? So if you see something that is not right around you, you fix yourself, right? And it will be projected out, right?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mursyidah.